Good afternoon, everyone. Hey guys, this is Bruce Marshall from Simpler Trading with the nightly market update for Wednesday, October the 4th. So happy Wednesday, happy hump day, happy October. Hope you are doing very well. We had a little bit of a positive move in the market today, which is kind of different from what we've had lately. It's been a really sketchy couple of weeks here. This I've got the ES up here. Here's the Nasdaq. Here's the RUT, and this is ticks. But let's focus on the ES for right now, and the area that I want to look at, the black shaded area. The light gray is overnight session. This is the cash, what's called the cash session for the SPX or the ES, and as you can see in the overnight session, we kind of sold off and then got a really nice bounce here in the overnight session, and then at the open we just kind of fell. But then we caught our breath, kind of made it back up, fell again, started making our way back up, started to fall again. And that's a good pattern, actually. You know, the market takes the stairs up. You always hear this: the market takes the stairs up and the elevator down, right? So this is basically a stair step, pattern, up and up and up. So the next move, hopefully is that way. I don't know. It's hard to tell. This is not enough information here yet, but let me show you what we're comparing it to. If you look over the last 10 days, you can see that it's just been down, 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 down. I mean, this, we were at 4,500. This is ES. 4,500. This is 10 days ago. And this, down, barely, faint-hearted bounce here, and we just bounce, 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 bounce. This is the tennis ball going down the stairs kind of thing. Get a little bounce here, and then down, down, down. So now we're at 42.35. We're starting a little bounce. Is this going to get rejected and we keep going lower? No one knows, but we shall see. I'll tell you what we're going to look for here in a minute. But this is a 10-day chart. Look at a 20-day chart. And you'll see the same thing again. The 20-day chart, we're at 45.66. Same thing. This is the stair step down, or the waterfall effect, basically. So if you look at this, I'm trying not to get too excited about today's action, because if you look at this, we have failed, 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 failed. Are we going to hit that and get rejected and keep going back down? So, and again, I hope not, but there's no way to tell right now. I would love to see some follow through and get this thing turned around. So let's dig a little deeper here. If we go to our, let me load up my little bit longer time frame chart here. And if you look and see, these are grab candles and Darvas boxes. And basically what this is showing, this is a 34 EMA right here. And basically we've kind of fallen off the cliff here, and see this prior level that hit and held and bounced, and this hit and held and bounced, and this hit and failed and just rolled over. We didn't get any bounce at all. We just continued down, down, down. Not a good sign at all. And that's the ES. If we do the same thing on the Nasdaq right here, you'll see the same thing. Not quite as bad actually in the Nasdaq, where we at least hit, and you see we came back up to that 34 and failed and came back down here. So that is showing a little more strength in the Nasdaq, which is kind of ironic. A lot of the big names that we always look at have really taken it on the chin. So that's very interesting to see. And in fact, if you go one step deeper, and let's look at this on just simple moving averages, you notice that this is the 200-day moving average on a 1-year chart, and we have not made it down there yet. Typically that's the place that we kind of stop if we're going to come down. Now that's the Nasdaq. We have not come down there, but look at this on the ES. We're sitting on the 200-day right now. And again, that is typically an area of support where we're likely to bounce from. So the two charts are saying two different things. Where the S&P or the ES is saying this would be a good place to bounce, and the NASDAQ is saying, if we want to go lower, there's kind of an air pocket below us. So how do you know which side to get on? And we trade off charts, and we're always looking at charts and patterns and levels and all that kind of stuff. We got a lot of different ways we can look at this. But at this point, I think what is equally or maybe even more important is our economic calendar. So tomorrow we have initial jobless claims. We have 3 different Fed speakers are talking tomorrow. That can help or hurt the market. On Friday we have payrolls, non-farm payrolls on Friday. So that's always a biggie. Then next week on the 11th we have PPI, and then on the 12th we have CPI, which are 2 inflation metrics that we look at. And we start earnings season next week. We kick off with a lot of the financials here at the end of the week. So there's going to be a lot going on, a lot of data, a lot of earnings, all that kind of stuff, which can really move us one way or the other. And we're in a position to either bounce or keep going down. So, everything that comes in is going to be that much more important over the next week or two. And I had someone ask me today in our live trading room, when are we going to know something? And, honestly, probably this time next week, maybe toward the end of next week. And the reason I say that is because if we're going to bounce, we probably will have already started, bouncing up from there. And if we get confirming good data points, being, a cool CPI, cool PPI, good payrolls numbers and all that kind of stuff, that's going to indicate that the Fed is probably going to be, more dovish, perhaps. So that's going to give us a lot more, wind at our back to bounce higher here, and vice versa if it goes the other way, right? So be very careful here as far as trying to buy the dip here. If you're going to buy this dip, buy it with a tight stop underneath it. And let me show you this. So if we look at a ribbon here, I would say this is probably as good a place as any to try to buy it. Once you get down to, this is like +3 ATR up here, that's -3 ATR, and that white line in the center, that's the mean. Once you get down here, if you're going to bounce, this is where you're going to bounce from most likely, and you're probably going to bounce up to there. And if this market is not going to do any more than that, then we'll continue back down. I was trying to find one over here, but I don't really see a good example. But so we could come up here and hit, and everybody thinks is getting long and bullish here, and then we hit this resistance and we fail, and this keeps on going down. So be aware of that. Again, let me show you on a little bit maybe a cleaner looking chart. So we could easily, just like we did here, we came down, hit support, we bounced back up into that 34, and then we came back down and we hit it again, and that time we cleared it. This time we have not, bounced back up at all into any of these levels. We could bounce back up into here and still fail and go lower, so don't get too excited one way or the other. And in fact, if we do bounce up there, I am much more likely to get above that and sell some call credit spreads or something like that to try to fade it back down in case, because I think that's probably more likely at this point. Either way, I'll have a tight stop above it or a tight stop below it, just to limit my risk and that type thing. But that, I believe, is exactly what will happen in the next 2-3 weeks. And again, it could go either way. This is exactly what's going to happen, but it could go up or it could go down, and here are the reasons why. Don't forget, after all of that, we have more earnings, all the big boys report and all that kind of stuff. And the Fed meeting is on October 31st, and they're going to actually do their conference call on November 1st. It's a Tuesday, Wednesday meeting, so it'll wind up on Wednesday. So we'll know on November 1st. So in the meantime, just try to, I'm sitting on a lot of cash. I've only got a couple of positions on right now, very light. Trying to be very, very nimble in this market. I do want to try to get long here. I do think we are overdue for a bounce with any kind of good news at all. And it's all centered around the bond market and what's going on with interest rates. Any good news there, we could bounce, but be careful not to get too crazy, because the bounce can fail. So that's what I've got for us. I hope that makes sense. If you're not with us, trading with us in the main room at Simpler Trading or my bias room, that's the room that I manage as well. I'm in both rooms, and we're in there all day trading, and we're talking about this stuff all day long. So come check it out. If we can help you, let us know. And other than that, let's see what we get over the next week. We'll have PPI. I do the videos on Wednesday, so next week we'll know what happened with PPI, and we'll have a much better handle on which way this thing's going to go. So thanks for the time. I appreciate it, and I will talk to you soon. Take care.
Without Simpler Trading, I could not have financial independence.
This is one of the best investments I ever made in my life.
It's helping me find consistency.
It's one of the things that won me